We're going to start things off with the ACC. We're going to go through a couple conferences, and then we'll do some rapid fire. But let's dive into ACC. In my personal opinion, I think this is the most competitive conference that we have on the dock. Of course, we're going to see teams like Syracuse, UNC, Notre Dame, Wake Forest, Virginia, NC State. So let's start with the men.
Okay.
I feel like the women's a little bit on the easier side. Let's start with the men. Ooh, debate time. I'm ready. Okay. Individually. Let's start there.
Well, actually, first, I'm going to outline the field.
Outline the field.
So, like you mentioned, the ACC is by far the deepest conference in all of NCAAs. If you look at the men specifically, if you're looking at teams that are currently ranked in the USGF CCCO coaches poll, you have Syracuse, UNC, Notre Dame, and Wake Forest. I mean, that's 4 really, really strong teams right there. And do we want to go ahead and divulge our picks and explain? Is that how we're going to do this?
That's how I envision. But yes.
Okay.
We can do whatever you
I'll
want.
start with the team. I'll start with the men's team.
Okay.
How about that?
Let's start there.
When I'm looking at the ACC this year, Syracuse has been impressing me this entire season. You know, they started off the season, they went to the UVA Invitational, with all the other top teams in the country. They finished 4th behind UNC. Mm-hmm. UNC finishes 3rd there. But then if you look at Nuttycombe, they blew me away. Yeah. They finished 3rd at Nuttycombe. UNC finished 10th. I mean, that right there, that shows the grit. We all know, as Coach Tribble was saying in his interview earlier, Nuttycombe was gross. It was windy. It was rainy. That is where, you could have every excuse to not do well as a team. Right. But they pulled out a 3rd place finish. And so to me, that shows me that they're tough and they're ready for that championship type of, competition that you need, that grit that you need to compete for a team title. So I'm going to say the men of Syracuse are going to win. Also, if you look at their spread, from 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're all right there together. Yeah. And so I think that's also a big key when you're looking to win team titles. Hey, maybe you may not have someone who's going to win the individual race, but if you have all of your top guys right there together and that spread's really small, that's also a good thing. So I will say the Syracuse men absolutely will win. Well, absolutely.
I agree with Ashley there. I think Syracuse men really, like you said, impressed me with Nuttycombe. If you can survive the conditions that were there that weekend, the rain, the wind, the cold, I'm from Maryland, and I'm thinking NCAAs is in Virginia. It's pretty much the same thing, right? You don't know what to expect in Virginia. Make sure you just pack a coat. It's going to be cold. It's going to be questionable if it might snow during that time. So if you can
snow, oh my gosh.
It snows in Virginia.
It's not going to snow at NCAAs.
Watch. Okay?
Okay.
So my thing is, if you can survive that and put a solid performance, you can do anything. So I agree with you with Syracuse. Okay. Now, individually.
This is interesting.
Yes. Well, do share. Share. Who do you pick winning ACCs on the men's side?
I see your point. I know who your pick is, and I see
your
point. So for my pick for the men's individual for ACCs, I'm going to go with Parker Wolf. He's very experienced. He's been UNC's top guy. He's been so consistent all year long. He finished 2nd last year to Notre Dame's Carter Solomon, who just outkicked him at the end. And if you haven't seen that race, epic finish. But Parker Wolf has been doing really well. I believe he finished 2nd at the UVA Invitational, and then, finished top 10, I believe, too, at Nuttycombe. And so I feel like that, that experience that he already has, competing at such a high level, I think that's going to carry him through to a title.
Okay. This is where Ashley and I
This is your hot take.
differ. I don't think it's a hot take.
I think it's a hot take. Okay.
I'm actually surprised. Like I said, I think it was the last show or the week before, Ashley is a North Carolina fan. She grew up in North Carolina. I went with Rocky Hansen, native of North Carolina. Yes, I understand he's a freshman, but he has so much experience already underneath his belt just from the high school level. This is a guy that was 11th at Champs Nationals Cross Country last year. If you look at what he's done, right, kicks off the season with a 5th place finish at the Virginia Invitational, 23:30. Now I'm going to compare him to Parker Wolf here. Parker Wolf was 2nd at that meet, 23:23. He was literally 7 seconds behind, okay? Recently, at Nuttycombe, Hansen had the upper hand. He finished 6th overall with a 23:27. Wolf was 23:29, so 2 seconds back. So right now we're tied, 1-1. I feel like if it comes down to it, I feel like Rocky Hansen's taking this victory. I feel like Rocky Hansen has been that freshman who's really put himself out there, knows how to toe the line against literally the nation's best, and is up there in the front. Rocky Hansen's my pick.
You know I like the pick. I'm not going to discount the pick because, again, big Rocky fan, and he's been running really well this season. But
see, there's the but. There's the but in the sentence.
I do think there's almost a revenge factor here for Parker Wolf.
Okay, I see that.
Have you seen that race from last year where he gets outkicked to just finish second at ACCs?
Let's not add more salt to the wound. Yes, but yes.
Okay,
I understand.
Do you not think that's probably replaying in his head?
It probably is. It probably is, yeah.
If that were me, I'd be like, no, there's no way I'm getting beat again.
I understand that.
So
Rocky
that's
Hansen
the
has
reason.
Nothing to lose, though. So he might as well just go out and...
That's another good point. You're right. Like, he has nothing to lose. So, like, why not go out there and put yourself in contention to put the pressure on, Wolf and the other people in that race to go after you? I think that's also a good point. But I guess I'll no hard feelings for anyone, but I'm going to go with Parker.
Okay, well, I stand behind my pick of Rocky Hansen. Okay, now that we got the guys' side taken care of, let's talk about the ladies.
Okay, so I feel like for the ladies, like you mentioned, it's a little more straightforward, I think, in terms of where my predictions are going.
Yeah.
NC State may have lost to NAU at Nuttycombe, but that doesn't mean that they're not still, like one of the best programs in the NCAA and that they should probably dominate the ACC championships, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you're looking at this, I expect Caitlin Tui to go in and defend her title per usual. Expect probably Kelsey Camille to be, second there, so they'll probably go 1-2. Expect, star freshman Leah Stevens and Grace Hartman up there. And then if Amherst and Sam Bush are running as well, I think that could be a pretty dominant showing, in my opinion, for the Wolfpack.
Yeah.
That's personally how I see that playing out. And so, I have Caitlin Tui as my winner there for the women, and then go Pack for the team title.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And I think we talked, was it last week that we talked about NC State, how, don't count them out right now.
I don't want to hear anyone saying that, NC State's over.
No. They're not over. You can have one tough, and I think it's always good to have that one tough race where the top team gets a little knocked off a little bit. I feel like it fuels that fire a little bit more. Yeah. But also, it shows, hey, we can still be dominant, right?
Yeah.
They still had a top place finish. There might be some things they need to tweak on and work on. But I think with just looking at NC State, and I'm also thinking about their incoming freshmen right now because they're so dominant. As you mentioned, Leah Stevens is one of them. Kate Putman is there as well. Angelina Napoleon, who's a national high school record holder in the steeplechase, also there. They have a lot of options, right? So,
they won't go to Napoleon or Putman or any of those, but
right. But I'm just saying, as this team unfolds a little bit more and they develop, they're going to have that. They have that depth right now. So as we look forward into the upcoming, championship part of the season, they have a stacked team right now.
Yes, I think really the question, obviously, that everyone has is, well, not that everyone has. I think they're going to win. I guess it's just the question is how dominant will it be, just based on who that top 7 is that they put out there. That's really just the question.
That's the question. Who's the top 7?